Okay, hello everybody. I am live. Okay, new timeout lengths. You can now put people in timeout for different lengths ranging from 10 to 21 seconds. Oh, okay. Well, I don't think we'll have to worry about that. Okay, hello everybody. Going live. So this is just, I'm going to do it this way for a couple of minutes while I do the introduction, and then I'm going to turn the camera around and begin the way I normally love to do my tarot readings, and that is where it's just you and the cards, and I'm just channeling. I find I can really climb in that way. Okay, I got some stuff written down on my computer that I want to read. So good evening, everybody. Happy winter solstice. I'm so happy to be doing this. This is for the winter solstice of 2023, December 2023. Okay, and before we dive in, I want to say thank you to the super thanks and the donations. This revenue goes toward Vimeo, where my extended readings are, and that's about 300 bucks a year Canadian, and I just purchased that. That was awesome. I just love doing this. So it was, if I wanted to have extended, that's there. But the donations and the revenue and the super thanks will be going toward next year's Vimeo subscription, and also when I do the readings, I do them in silence when I'm recording them. I don't have any music playing at all. I subscribe to tunepocket.com, and I pay a $40 subscription fee, and that's a pay-as-you-go fee, and it lets me purchase music that can be used, what's the word they use, perpetually, for commercial or non-commercial. So all the super thanks and donations I get will go toward the tunepocket.com. So I upload the music when I finish the recording, and then I upload and I choose the music very, very carefully. Music, I find, is like a magic carpet that helps lubricate the message. So tonight you're going to hear the message totally raw and totally pure with no music, because normally I do the recording and then I upload on Clipchamp, and I add in like all the music there. Okay, so with that being said, I just wanted to say thank you so much for all of that. That means so much. And there's 6 people here. Yay, welcome everybody. So okay, I don't see where the chat is, but that's okay. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm not going to get distracted with the chat. So this is just going to be a general collective reading for the winter solstice, and to see what's coming in this powerful time of year. Yesterday was the first day of winter, so happy winter solstice to everybody. And okay, I just want to say that I could be picking up on your energy, or I could be picking up on the energy of the people who are in your lives, whose energy is in your morphic fields, okay? So please switch the energies around as you see fit, as they fit into your life, okay? Okay, now I'm going to, okay, there we go. I see this now. There we go. Yay! So I'm hoping I can put this down a little bit. I normally have my phone sideways so you can see the whole table, and I'll just have to do this. And this is the way I love to do this, because when I'm not on camera, I can really climb in. I'm just going to have a quick drink of ice water. Okay. All right, everybody. I'm so excited. I wasn't sure if I was going to do, another live for a while. And then someone asked me about it, and I thought, yeah, let's do a live. So thank you so much for asking. Okay, I'm just going to arrange my table. Okay. All right. Creator, please bless this reading. Bring in the knowledge and the wisdom of the Most High for the collective, for this winter solstice. Please bring in the energies for the viewers, for the listeners. What do the listeners need to hear? What do the viewers need to see? What are the messages? Okay, here we go. All right. So the first card out, I'm going to be doing the same 3-card spread. And it's going to be past, present, and future. And I'm hoping I can squeeze them all onto the table here, even if I have to back it up a little bit. Okay, the first card out. Winter's Dream. Gestation period. Winter's Dream. And this is in your recent past. And look at the spiral right in the middle of this card. Spirals to me are indicative of unending cosmic evolution. They're also, because when you add two opposites together, you have a spiral. And we live in a spiral galaxy. We live in duality. And if you'll notice, this spiral is also contained within the whole. So with duality is also unity. So that's two different opposing planes of consciousness that are happening at the very same time. So it's like a hibernation period. And you know, it looks like she's covered in, like, it looks like there's like ice everywhere. And it's very interesting because ice is a crystalline structure. So I see that as like a sacred geometry structure of gestation. I might have to move that a little closer too, so you guys can see the cards. So hibernation, and 6 + 3 is a 9. So whatever's going on, you guys are close to your goals. You're very close to your goals and approaching them. 9 is right before a 10. Winter's Dream, gestation period. Can we have the next card, please, Creator? Winter's Dream, gestation period. Right there. Ooh. I have never, yes, okay, I have pulled this card. Feast of Plenty, choices and their consequences. Oh, yes, okay. So this Winter's Dream is your past, recent past. This is your current energy. So 9 and a 2. So a two, I almost see this also as a two of swords. And feast of plenty, choices and their consequences. So there you have a lot of abundance coming in. And this doesn't only have to be only finances. This can be energy. This can be people in your life. This can be creativity. This can be all different kinds of abundance. So choices and their consequences. So you have a lot to choose from. You have a lot to choose from. And I'm also hearing, like, it's interesting because you see, this is almost like a crystal ball, and see how it's empty. So not only have you been in a hibernation, but you've also been clearing. It's almost a clean slate. I bet some of you, if you know your birth chart, I bet you have some of you may even have 0 degrees in certain planets of certain houses. Because often 0 degrees of a birth chart of a house is often indicative of clear karma. Clear karma. You have cleared karma through something you have done. And clearing the karma has made room for abundance that is coming in. Because you can't fill a cup that's already full. You've got to empty the cup out. And I feel that that's what's happened before this winter dream. Before you went into hibernation, you were clearing. And this hibernation was like a kind of, oh, there's energy in this. It's kind of a hibernation. I see this fairy. She's like emerging out of the shell. So shells are transformation. They're also protection. Like when you look at a snail and how it can curl up into its shell to escape predators. So it's interesting that also the spiral on the shell. So there is something within the conflict, within the opposition, within the polarities, within you, within your understanding of the polarities of your life, with you understanding the value of the conflicts in your life, that is highly serving you and highly protecting you, because it's within this spiral here. And the fact that this little fairy is coming out of the shell, it's you're coming out of a phase and a stage of protection, a stage of grief, a stage of protection, hibernation. I mean, you're still very much protected, but you're like emerging out of your shell. And yet your shell is still here. It's still very much a part of you. Very powerful. So absolutely multi-dimensional energy. Very interesting. Okay. Can we have the next card, the future that the collective does not see coming, creator? The future energies that the collective does not see coming. And look at the big crystal coming out of this, pointing up to heaven. Very interesting card. And all the greenery underneath. Whoops, I burnt myself on my incense. Interesting. A lot of nutrients supporting your consciousness, because as again, I see this as a crystal ball, and the fact that there's 2 swords in this, 2 swords plunged into it, or maybe behind it. Decisions, I see a sword plunged into the ground as like, I claim this, I claim it. It's a claiming. It's a staking something, a claiming. Something that you are claiming with the creator, with your higher soul, your higher spirit, that has to do with it brings you joy. It's what's authentic to you. Okay. And it's also, this keeps coming to me. The Two of Swords also, in the Rider White deck, it's a woman with her back to the ocean and she's wearing a blindfold and she's got the two swords that are crisscrossed over her. What this card often is indicative to me too is the training of the samurai. Uh, the development of self-esteem is the development of spiritual instincts over the five senses. And we develop instinct, take a look at animals. When prey are being chased by their predator, they are using their instinct to guide them to safety. When a predator needs to hunt for, say, like a mother lion has to go and hunt prey to feed her cubs, she's going to be using her instinct also. And so, these are survival mechanisms that we need in order to survive. They can feel, seem, appear, to us, we're very domesticated, but to us they can seem very brutal. But these are required, and these instincts of, because the world, like when you, like I brought up Monty Roberts' book Horse Sense for People in my last reading, and Monty Roberts was the one that pointed out that the world operates by predator prey. That's just, and until you can become aware of those dynamics in your life and rise above them, help them, lift you up above them when you get into a more antinomian perspective and see that predator prey, good and evil, right and wrong, good and bad, are actually not at war over your soul. They're actually in service of your growth, in service of your expansion. And that requires you understanding instinct, and that requires you understanding conflicts, opposition, polarities, and you knowing yourself. You knowing yourself in the midst of whatever. And that's what I feel here, is that you absolutely do. I'm just gonna move my mouse so that this light comes back on. Bring this up. There we go. That's even better. There we go. Just looking at this card a little more. Crystals are also indicative of consciousness. When you have a clear insight, a clear truth that pops up out of the earth, solid and clear. Solid and clear. So this is either you knowing what direction you're going to be taking, but you're aware. You're very, very much knowing, and you're aware of choices and their consequences. Absolutely. Okay. The last card, creator, that the collective doesn't see coming. Oh my gosh. Seven, the covenant, this sacred contract. Oh my gosh. Oh, the energy. There's a lot of energy. So this contract is not yet written. This contract is blank. So the choices that you're going to be making, the choices and consequences that you're going to be making based on, I mean, look at the pink in this card. Look at the pink and look at the brightness of it. There's a lot of love, pink, rose quartz. Pink. There's a pink can also be associated with sexual energy, so a lot of creativity. And the fact that this is during gestation, so this is the building of it, the building of the pressure of creativity, the building of love, the building of the dimension of self-love, and understanding yourself in the midst of conflict and understanding the unity of that conflict. What, as I described earlier in the antinomian perspective, you see the value of the conflict. You understand how it served you. And that brings you into a much clearer, yes, a much clearer perspective of yourself, where you know yourself. You know yourself. And that's, who is it, Plato or Socrates, that said, know thyself. He also said the greatest tragedy in life is, the greatest tragedy is an unexamined life. So, you are somebody, viewers, you know yourselves, who you know who you are, you know where you've been, and you're bringing the best parts of yourself through the greatest struggles of your life. And that's what has become crystallized and crystalline. And it's so interesting because there's crystal and then crystal. Now it's emerged. Now it's on this plane. That's it. Now it's on this physical plane. And then it's going into the covenant, going into your contract with your higher soul, your contract with the Creator. Oh, and on the bottom of the car, on the bottom of the deck, oh, beloved, radical acceptance. That is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And that's what I mean. What did I just say? You knowing the struggle, you knowing your struggles, knowing your opposition, and knowing the value, the wholeness of it, the value of it, how it served you. This flaming heart. Look at the darkness all around this. I'm feeling, whoever I'm speaking to, that you guys are light workers. And light workers are not found in places of light. The Creator places you in places of darkness, places that need your light. So, okay, now that we've got these cards out, and I want to be able to, I don't know if I can. Okay, well, I'm just going to leave the card right there. This bottom of the deck is right beside all these cards here. Okay, so number 2 plus 63 breaks down to a 9. That's an 11. 20, when it breaks down, is a 2, and number 7. So 2, 4 plus 9 is 13. Plus 7 is 20. 4, 11, and 9 is 20. 2, 4, 11, plus 9 is 20. Okay, 20, and 2 plus 0 is 2. So this entire reading breaks down to a 2. And again, here we are, 2. So absolutely, you are in the process of the Creator in you is developing in you self-esteem and spiritual instinct, the training of the samurai, the spiritual samurai, where you know yourself. And when the Creator says, hold, wait, you know, you have that instinct, you know your inner voice, And you know the critic in you. You understand yourself. You have the discernment of spirits when it comes to you. You know yourself very well. Otherwise, this wouldn't be here. Radical acceptance. You would still be fighting yourself. You would still be at war with yourself. You would still be like, no, I don't trust myself yet. But you are radical acceptance in the dark. In the dark. And your heart is on fire. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. Okay. At the end of this reading, I'm going to pull a Native American oracle card to close this off, and this gives will be a card of direction. But in the meantime, I'm going to clarify. Okay, Creator, can we please clarify the first card? Why is number 63, Winter's Dream? Why does this represent the collective's recent past? What has happened? What has happened to the collective? We have any jumpers? Have any jumpers? No. Okay. All right. The first card is yes. Oh my gosh. The Two of Pentacles. I love this card. You see the 8? The 8 is multidimensional. It is physical and the spirit. It is many different, two different planes of consciousness. As I said, duality and unity. Duality and unity. You know, duality and unity is also the two pillars of the High Priestess. The black pillar is Boaz. That is indicative of unity. The white pillar is J, but that's pronounced Yakin. And that is duality. And that's exactly what this is. And the High Priestess understands the value of the struggle, but she understands the struggle and the need for the fight, the need for the conflict. You know, it's okay. The Creator just said, take a look at adolescents. Adolescents have to fight with their parents. They have to. It's important. It's developing neurology in their brains so that when they get older and they encounter adversity, they have the neurology now to find their way through that. But a child that's never been allowed to fight or stand up for itself or been really exposed to a lot of conflict will have a hard time with that. And so the High Priestess knows very well that the value of the conflict, but she also she appreciates the conflict, and she appreciates the value of the conflict, of how it serves. Okay, and that's what this is. You are finding the balance between those two. And his hat is stretching up into the upper realms of this sky. Sky is always indicative of the upper world. You know, just like in the book Way of the Shaman by Michael Harner, there's a section in the book where Michael Harner, I don't think it's him, it's like another shaman from another part of the world, and he's saying many times he's been required to go into the earth with his totem and the client's totem, to go in through like a rabbit hole in the earth, a crack in a mountainside that goes downward, and he goes into the earth with his totem and his client's totem to find a piece of his client's soul. He said, I have yet to find a client that requires me to go into the upper realms. And I remember thinking like, Interesting. Like I'd never even know that. I didn't even know there was even an upper realm until I found that out. So, like it in the book, it was so interesting. So that's what this is to me, is you finding the balance. Ships in the background are getting tossed all over the place, but yet you are like doing a balance because you've got a foot in both worlds. You've got a foot in the physical and you've got a foot in the spiritual. And the creator and your life, what life is asking from you, is requiring this, is requiring you to hone your instincts of your intuition and your instinct. Here's the difference. And I learned this from Caroline Myss and Clarissa Pinkola Estes in their book, Intuition and the Mystical Life. And Caroline Myss states that instinct and intuition are not this same thing. So here we go. That could be the two planes of consciousness that you are absolutely being asked to balance. Instinct is when you have an instant attraction to a person. That's chemical. You have no control over that. None. You see a person, your body chemically responds or is repulsed by. You have no control over that. But let's go with the first one. It was an attraction, and you feel an attraction to a person. That's your instinct. Your intuition kicks in and says, that's not a good idea. Can you hear that? That your intuition gives you a choice where your instinct does not. So this is you. And it's interesting because instinct is also very much based in the tribal mind. And so your intuition is bringing you into an individuality. And individuality, it seems counterintuitive. It would seem that individuality is a piece of the whole, and therefore it's just one little fragment, and it's vulnerable and it's weak. That's wrong. That's false. According to Carl Jung, there is nothing lower than group mind. And when you look at the Christ, when you look at the Buddha, when you look at the masters, they were individualized. They went up against their own adversity. Christ had Judas, Buddha had Maya. These were adversities and adversaries. Oh, hello, adversaries that brought out the best in them. And that's how that works. That's how it works. And so you doing a dance on both feet as the rest of the world is getting tossed. The ships on the water. Water is emotion. And you can do your dance, and the world's all going, what the hell's going on? But how are you so calm? How are you able to respond to all of this so quickly? And it's because of the work that you have done on yourself. It's because of the radical acceptance. And that doesn't happen without knowing yourself. That doesn't happen without knowing your light and your dark. Your heart and the environment that you're in also. But this also is knowing your own darkness. Oh, interesting. When I pulled this card up, the card that showed itself is the closing door. That's interesting. Okay, absolutely. I mean, solstice is a doorway anyway. It is very much a doorway into a new era, new time, new energy, new spirit coming onto the planet, new flow coming onto the planet. Interesting. and you coming into a new contract, absolutely a door was closed for you to come into radical acceptance. For you to come into radical acceptance. You know, some of you have even left, what I'm feeling is some of you have even left, you know, members of your family, members of your friends in in protecting your truth, in protecting your own innocence, in protecting something that you fought so hard to resurrect. You know, and that's the thing, you know, I brought this up yesterday, or the other day within the collective's read about the difference between fate and destiny. And that's what I see that this is. This is destiny. I'm sorry, I don't want to get emotional. Sometimes I can't help it. There's so much emotion. Fate is when you are fulfilling an expectation from the collective, from the tribe, that the tribe has said to you about you. That's fate. Destiny, on the other hand, is when you fulfill a call from within your heart, from within your own soul, that you just have to do this. You don't know why, and it's going to require you betray your allegiance to the tribe. It's going to require you to betray your allegiance to the group that you've been plugged into. And the creator, that in that reading, the creator brought in Monty Roberts, and how Monty Roberts, being the horse whisperer, his father was a traditional horse breaker, and he writes in his book about how his father would beat a horse within an inch of its life, and the horse would witness its own spiritual death and surrender to it, have to psychologically surrender to it in order to physically survive the experience. Then and only then would they have a very obedient horse that would do whatever you want, and the horse would obey in order to save its life. It had nothing to do with the person. It's just trying to stay alive. And this is what we do to each other. And this is why he was asked by psychologists and therapists and all different kinds of people to write the book Horse Sense for People. Because, okay, so fate and destiny. So Monty Roberts, something in him said, no, I'm not going to beat horses. I'm not going to take a wild stallion and kick the crap out of it and bring it to the point of almost death for it to obey me. So instead, he spent hours and hours out on the prairies of Montana studying the equine until he learned the language of the equine. And now he can do what's called join up. Within half an hour, 30 minutes, they bring a wild Mustang into the ring that has never been exposed to humans, a saddle, anything. And without any violence, he has a saddle on that horse and he is in it. He's on it. And that horse is loyal and dedicated to him because of an atmosphere and an agreement. And that's what join up is about. And that's what destiny is about. It's you. You are not dominating yourself anymore, and you're not allowing anyone else to dominate you either. And that has the work you have done on yourself, the isolation of it, the alienation of it, the feeling alone, that is going through the eye of the needle. And that is absolutely the development of spiritual instinct and bringing you into your contract. Absolutely. You know, all are called. Very few are chosen. Not everyone listens. And there's a lot of people that don't answer the call. You know, and those people, you know, oftentimes I've known people in my own life that didn't answer calls and didn't want me to answer my own call either, you know, and that's That's a grueling thing where you have to, like, I'm so sorry. I trust your decision, but I'm not making that decision for myself, you know? Okay, Creator, can we have the next cards, please? The Hanged Man, and this is upright. So whatever in your balancing, you were getting very clear. You were coming down from, see, you were in a hibernation time. In that hibernation time, finding your balance, finding your footing with a foot in both worlds, with trusting your contract with the higher divine, with your higher voice, your higher spirit, and getting clear, getting very clear. Look at the light around this person's head. You know, the Hanged Man puts himself up and gets hung up. He's very aware of what is going on, but he's just going to hang there until he gets clear. And when it's in reverse, you're clear. You're coming down from being hung up. You're clear. And that's what I mean. The crystal coming out of the crystal ball here, out of the sphere, and it's solid and clear. And that is your motivation, your resolve, your decision to move forward, whatever that is your clarity, your movement, your decision. Ooh. The next card out is the Hierophant. Beautiful. So absolutely, your clarity is absolutely bringing you into, your connection to the higher dimensions, your decision to trust yourself, your knowing and your clarity absolutely brings you into, this is like, I see this as you teaching, you getting into a teaching foundation. This could also be religious structures, beliefs. But very much, I see this as you coming into your own authority. You're coming into your own sovereignty that cannot be messed with by anybody. And see, it's just like the high priestess coming through the two pillars. Very much, I'm hearing ambassador of the spirit. Ambassador of the spirit. That is powerful. Very powerful. Okay, Creator, can we have the next cards, please, for the middle cards? Why is the Feast of Plenty representing the collective's current energies? What does this mean? Whoa. Am I taking all of those? Yes, okay. 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 Very interesting. So it's interesting. The creator, the training of the samurai, you're going up, you were in a conflict. There was a conflict going on in your life, and it's showing up now in the cards. And I didn't see the insect there. That's interesting. It's like a bee or a hornet or a bee. And they usually belong, the word that came to me with that is colony. So there's a group. Your conflict could possibly be with a group or one person that is belonging to a group or representing a group, a colony. Okay, so the first card out, that's what I mean. The development of self-esteem is the development of spiritual instinct. And look at the eight again of over her head. And she is closing the mouth of the lion. And what this card isn't saying is that the mouth of the lion is allowing her to. Her instinct is allowing her to. So that's what I mean. You're developing balance. That's exactly what you're doing. You are, with your foot in both worlds, you are taming your wild, and your wild is allowing you to. It doesn't feel threatened. It is aligned. This brings you into your Queen of Wands energy, very loving, nurturing energy, supportive, loving, nurturing, not only of others, but of you. And I love the little black kitty down there. Ooh, I just heard the word familiar. Interesting. So maybe some of you have cats that you're very, very close to, that are very, it's like you're a bond to the creator. You're a bond to a spirit guide and ancestor. Animals are so incredible. They're so much more than what we think, than what we know. And your loving energy is coming up against a King of Wands in reverse. So a King of Wands in reverse is a person who is demonstrating negative fire energy. Positive fire energy is like a noble king, a person that is very supportive, that sees the bigger picture, that wants to serve the people, that wants to, that is a good ruler, is a fair ruler, a just ruler. But when he's in reverse, this is like you're dealing with a narcissist. The King of Wands is like taking a look at the dark side of Leo. The dark side of Leo is definitely narcissistic. So this is a narcissist in your life that has brought you conflict, that has helped you develop your instinct through the conflict. This person your work in your relationship with this person, it was like it was unending. There was no reward. It just felt grueling. And I don't think I'm getting the feeling that your person is not as aware as you are. And I don't think was aware of their relationship to power. That's it. They were not aware of their relationship to power. In fact, I'm getting that this person's almost thinking that they're powerless. And it's so true. Some of the biggest tyrants are victims there, and that's why they're so raw. It's because they're feeling so powerless that they have to show this outward demonstration of power. And it's not good. Okay, and you have had enough. You are taking a last stand. You are incredibly resilient, very, very resilient. And you're just no more. That's it. I don't want to do this anymore. I've had enough, and that's it. There's a disconnect. And this is not only a disconnect. This is, and I'm getting that this was a test. You are being tested. The Creator is testing you. See, when the hand comes out of the sky, it's like, you're like, no, I'm done with this. And then the Creator's like, are you sure? You know, I bring this in again. The universe will always test you, always. Especially when you make a resolve, like never again, or I proclaim and make a vow, I'm going to go in this direction or that direction, and the universe will bring your past up to you. To be like, you sure? You don't want to go about this one more go? You don't want to like entertain this one more time? Are you sure? And just making sure. And you're like, no, there's a disconnect. This card does not always mean like spoiled or whatever. Sometimes it's a test. Sometimes you're being tested to see if you're gonna go back, and you're not. The fact that you're saying no has definitely removed a false crown. And see, this is what I mean. You have your authority, and you're not giving it up. You are not sacrificing this for anybody, no matter what, no matter who they are, no matter what they are, no matter where they are. It's absolutely not. And this removes an authority that has had power over you and puts your authority on. And not only that, there's life growing. There's life growing. It's taking form. It's taking form. It's sprouting. And with that sprouting, you are rebuilding. You are rebuilding. And I'm hearing this is from the inside out, not from the outside in. That's powerful. Rebirth. And you know, the winter solstice, winter time is the time after the Western Door. And the Western Door, you know, oh, interesting. Okay, the Creator wants this in here. The spirit of the bear, the Western Door, wherever you were, whatever happened with this conflict, this tribe, this family, this group, whoever you were dealing with, it was long. It was arduous. And as much as you wanted out, as much as you had contemplated getting out and considered getting out and was scared, you didn't want to hurt anybody, you didn't want to create conflict. And at the same time, how that affected you. And there's bear energy here, because before we get into the north, we have to go through the Western Door. And the Western Door is the spirit keeper of the Western Door is the bear. And the bear is known as the shapeshifter. The Western Door is introspection. It's also death. It's autumn. Leaves all fall from the ground or from the trees. Everything looks dead. It's before this snow comes. The world gets cold, especially here in Canada. So what's significant about the bear, especially the grizzly bear, is the grizzly bear's diet is carrion. It's also salmon. Carrion is like rotten meat. And a bear will take his kill back to his den. He'll rough it up, bury it, let it rot, and then he'll dig it up again and let it rot even more. They love rotten salmon. What does salmon do? Salmon swim from the depths of the ocean. They fight the current. They fight the currents in order to lay their eggs. This is what your diet has been. Fighting the currents of your life. This is what has been required of you in a position, in a situation, in a relationship that had expired. And in that expiration was decomposition. And this is symbolic. This is symbolic and archetypal. And the importance of this is that there's nutrients. There are nutrients that is developed in the decomposition process that aren't found anywhere else. And you need those nutrients for where you're going. Whoever you are multidimensional. You don't just, whoever I'm speaking to is not just carnal. You're not just, oh, this is a tree and that's a door and this is all there is, that's it. Like, no, you are very connected. But the nutrients of the decomposition of your life is enriching your experience and bringing more value into the value of the struggle, the value of the decomposition. In that decomposition is wisdom, knowledge that you can't find anywhere else. You can only find that through the perseverance of where you've been. You can't find that in the easy walk here or the easy walk there. It's through the hard, arduous struggle of a place where it felt like it was long overdue that you were there. But that was a contract. That would, and I say this because the truth is what is. Falsehood is what seems to be. And it's taken me 50 years to understand the significance between these two subtle planes of consciousness. And that comes through trusting yourself and where you've been and what you know and what knowledge you carry in you. Okay, Creator, can we have the cards, please, and the clarification for the covenant, the sacred contract? Why is this representing the collective's future? A very spiritual number. So whatever training you're doing here in finding your balance, the training you were doing here in taming your wild, that is required for where you're going also. So, I just heard follow the lesson with the bear. So with those nutrients, that brings you into the north. And here we are in the solstice. The north is the place of purity, where you're refined, where you come into the pureness of your contract, where you come into your connection, where you were closest to the spirit. You were closest to your own higher soul and to the great spirit, the great mystery. It's dark. Think of the north. Think of the north. And I often think of the Arctic and the pureness of the Arctic. It's very, the north is like the place of spirit before you're reborn, and then east, that's where spring is. That's where life comes back in, but it's got to go through the purification. Yes, and that's what this is. Winter's dream. So this is your north. And that's what this equinox is also. It's a time of purification, purifying what has died in your life, purifying the knowledge within you, the wisdom within you. And this is a process that you're not necessarily always conscious of. This is always going on behind scenes, getting ready for the push of the spring. Getting you ready for the push of the spring. Okay. There we go. First card out. Knight of Wands. Beautiful. So you are going, see the pyramids in the background. The pyramids to me always indicative of higher consciousness within the self. And look at, oh my gosh, this came up again. I love it. He's looking toward the current. Even though this is your sacred contract, when you are aligned, even the future is aligned with the present. So your sacred contract is directly connected to your samurai energy. And this is what is merging, because he's looking right at this energy. So it's like past and future energies are becoming aligned within you, are lining up. They're lining up. The dimensions, dimensionality, as Joe Dispenza says in his book Supernatural, we don't live linearly, we live dimensionally. It's like Christ, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and all these things will be added unto you. What that means is when you get the inside right, the outside falls into place. The outside will line up, and that's what's happening. You are lining up into higher consciousness within you. The pyramids are higher consciousness to me, because one of the lessons I've heard from Shunyamurti is during the Copper Age, long time ago, the sages of the world would go into the pyramids, and there's chambers in the very bottom of the pyramids, and what is believed is that the sages of the worlds at the same time all over the world would go into these bottom chambers, and they would meditate and get into a very high state in their consciousness, and they would actually activate the pyramids, because the pyramids are on ley lines, they're on the meridian lines of the earth. And so they would do this, and all over the earth, these sages would go into the pyramids and then activate them, and it would feed the earth. It would replenish the energy of the earth. So what I'm seeing is that you are replenishing your own soul. You are strengthening your soul. This is indicative of the meridians of your soul, the ley lines of your own soul that you are strengthening through the work you're doing. Okay. You get the next cards out, Creator. That's awesome. I love that. It's beautiful. Okay. Oh, beautiful. Your golden opportunity. The hand coming out of the upper realms, the upper sky, bringing you in a golden opportunity. You see the golden path. You can see through the little doorway there. You can see the mountains. Mountains are... There's power in mountains. It's like elevated power. Churches, ashrams, and military are the two often foundational structures that are found in mountains, up in mountain ranges, because of the power in them. There's like a sovereignty. Mountains are sovereign. So you're going into an experience, a golden opportunity that the Creator is bringing you through your contract, that is bringing you where you're going to be speaking from, standing on, acting from your sovereignty. Beautiful. And it's a physical experience that is coming in because you are aligned. You know, when God asked Adam, where are you? He was not asking him a geographical question. He was asking him a dimensional question. Oh, okay. Here we are. Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay, the third card out for your future is the Five of Cups. And it's interesting, the Five of Cups is looking straight at your current energy. And this is dealing with this King of Wands. I'm getting that this King of Wands person in your life is very aware of your ascension, is very aware of your changes. See, the world doesn't want you clear because the world isn't clear. And the minute you get clear, your consciousness is clear. It's popped out of the soil of your earth, solid. It's popped out of the soil of your psyche, solid and clear. And when you're clear, the people around you have to be clear. They can't speak to you the same way that they used to because you are different. And that makes them go like, oh, I can't talk to him or her the way I, or them the way I always did. No, you can't. No, you can't. And so this person is feeling a loss. This person is grieving. And very much. And this could be your energy too. Knowing the truth about that some relationships are unresolvable at this time. Maybe the person might have a change of heart in the future, who knows? The Creator works in mysterious ways. Okay. The next card out is the Eight of Swords. And this is directly corresponding with this energy. So the energy of you working very hard with no reward, no outcome, no, like, where is everything growing? Like, where is everything? Like, of all this work I'm doing, what's happening? What's going on? Is it doing anything? Is it happening? And I don't feel this is your energy. I do not feel this is your energy. Okay, there's two messages with this card. This is not okay because this person is not completely bound. They can walk out of here. The swords are in the earth. First of all, so the battle's over. If the swords were upright, that'd be different. But they're not. They're all down. So the fight's over. But somebody is in an inner hell realm. They can walk out. Their feet aren't bound. The ties aren't even all that strong. And they're blindfolded. What I'm getting here is that they're not held here by choice. They're held here by magnetics. Okay. When a person can leave a relationship, if you see a person in a domestic violent relationship, why the hell are you staying there? When people scratch their head and they don't understand, why is the person staying there? They can just leave. There's so many support services out there, so much of this, so much of that. Why don't they just leave? It's not that easy. When you have been bound to something, okay, magnetics, when you rub a balloon against your head, it's creating a magnetics. Well, you take that analogy and you apply that to a habit, a belief, a behavior, a kind of, maybe this is a relationship that the same kind of a relationship that you've always nurtured. Well, that's the same thing as rubbing a balloon up against your head, is you're developing magnetics to that behavior. And that magnetics, the physical manifestation of that magnetics is magnetic to you or to whoever this, and it's not to you, but I think this is to this person, this King of Wands, that they are stuck. They are trapped in their own magnetics, their own patterns that's holding. The root word of gravity is grave. So when we're held by gravity because of our own doing, we've repeated a pattern over and over and over and over and over again. It's like we've rubbed that pattern to the point where we've created a magnetic charge. And now that pattern comes back to us over and over and over again. But the fact, what changes it is consciousness, being aware of it. And this person, I don't feel, is yet aware of it. Look at his eyes are blindfolded. What I see that as the inner eyes. This person's eyes is not yet open. And it's a female. I'm seeing this in a female, symbolically female, because that's a human being's capacity to receive insight, receive knowledge from spirit guides, from angels, from your own higher soul, your own conscience going, hey, like, come on, wake up. And this person isn't ready to. And this is why you had to work so hard, because they weren't aware and you were like doing all the work. Like, what the hell? What the, you know? And that's, so this person is grieving your loss and knowing that they are stuck. They are trapped in dynamics that they participated in getting themselves into. And you got to trust another person's work. Trust their work. It's not your work, it's their work. Okay. And in this is the Six of Wands in reverse. You know, and I'm getting that it's kind of interesting because I'm feeling like this is how this person wants to see you. Is I'm getting that you are being recognized, you are being seen, because you're honoring yourself, because you're aligned with your true dimensions of authenticity, of what is true for you. And because of that, the universe, the entire universe is responding, conspiring with you on this. And it's bringing you recognition. But I'm feeling that this is, again, this person's energy. I'm also getting too that this is your energy too. It's a little bit of fear because this is new territory. This is new territory. You know, you making a last stand of no more. And so public recognition, being exposed, being seen, no longer being invisible. You know, I can't tell you how many mystics. Oh, it's so interesting because my daughter and I were talking about this tonight, about the value of codependency. In order to be, you know, and I learned this from Robert Ohado, who is an incredible astrologer, and he talked about codependency, and he said, "Oh, people think codependency is a flaw, it's a weakness," and he said, "There's nothing further from the truth. It's a skill. Your fact, codependency. Another word for codependency is emotionally tracking." So when you're a kid and you grow up in an alcoholic home or a home where there's domestic violence or even just yelling, a lot of yelling or a lot of bullying going on between your parents or your siblings or whoever, when you grow up in that, you're not safe. You don't feel safe. So you have to emotionally track the adults around you. Is mom okay? If mom's not okay, you're not. You know you're not okay. If dad's not okay, you know you're not okay. So you have to emotionally track them and manage them so that you're safe. And that's, you know, it's very much tracking. It's being able to track people, and that is a skill, is very much a skill. And oftentimes to protect ourselves, in tracking our parents and things like that, we don't want to be seen. It's better to be invisible, because when I'm visible, I get hit, or when I'm visible, I'm a target, or however. And so oftentimes we grow up and we meet people who don't see us because we're not aware of the magnetics that we're in. We've created magnetics of being invisible. And I speak this from my own experience. So coming out and being publicly recognized is coming out of your shell. Coming out of your shell. And it's a challenge. This person doesn't want you to. This person wants you in your shell and wants you nurturing them. And you're coming out of your shell and going through all the vulnerabilities that come with all of that. Absolutely. I don't know why. Why is this doing this? Very interesting. Okay. So, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the 6th card out is Death in Reverse. It's interesting because the battle, not the battle, but the process of letting go of the tribe is part of what is going to be writing your contract, whatever you're going through with the letting go process, because your person is very resisting the transformation, resisting the transformation of resisting transformation, resisting the change, resisting allowing an old part of themselves to die so that a new part can come in, a new aspect of themselves can come in. And the last card out is the 7 of Swords. And that's what I mean about you. The dynamics of you letting go is what is writing this contract, because this 7 of Swords, this card is not only about deception. See the golden background behind this guy, this person, and I see this as you. I see this as you. Like, you really are trying to find the most non-turbulent way through this process. And even though your person's going through it and doesn't want to lose you, and that's what I'm seeing, is this person doesn't want to lose you, but they can't hang on to you the way they are, and they know they can't hang on to you in your new change. It's like it's you've grown so much. It's almost like you don't even speak the same language anymore, even though you both speak English, or you both speak whatever dialect you speak, or whatever, English, French, or however, you don't speak the same language in that. So the 7 of Wands is this, sometimes this card means this person is like taking the swords off the battlefield in deception. But in this case, I see this as you taking swords and trying to find another way, trying to find a way to resolve, come through letting go, come through letting go of this former way of life, this former relationship, without it having to be a bloody knockdown fight. You looking for alternatives, and maybe this could be this person in your life too, trying to figure out how to keep you in their life. But no matter what, the process of all of this, of the complexity of the dynamics, it's almost like you are leaving, like you're separating yourself. And in this separation are the ingredients of this contract. Because this is not easy. Most people want to just spiritually bypass right into the contract. Let's just get into the contract. Hurry up. Let's just get into the contract. No, 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 no. These are foundational experiences that you have to know. We have to know these things. We can't bypass these things, because if we do, it's not a genuine change. But because contract is here for you, this is a genuine change. You are absolutely honoring you're honoring the going into new lands. You're honoring the new opportunity coming in. You're honoring the grief work of letting go. You're honoring the difficulty of watching someone else struggle. This could even be you and your own magnetics of leaving this relationship that you were there for so long. And it doesn't have to be even romantic. This could be a workplace. This could be a friendship. This could be anything. Your fears about it. The risk of coming out of invisibility, the vulnerability of that. All of these are important ingredients that are very valuable. It's part of the spiral. It's part of the high priestess. The high priestess wouldn't be the high priestess without these darker ingredients of duality. And the high priestess has no problem speaking from these places at all. She doesn't try to, oh no, let's only spiritually bypass, talk about the positive. Like, no, 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 no. No, no, no. We have to be able to empower ourselves where we are, even when we're in the shadow, even when we're coming out of the shadow. Sometimes you can be in the shadow when you're coming out of the shadow. You can be in the shadow when you're coming out of the shadow. And being able to empower yourself where you are, that is the qualities of the high priestess. Only the high priestess can do that. Other people spiritually bypass. They don't know how to go through the darkness. They only know how to, okay, let's om, let's chant, let's pray, let's light candles and drop, you know what I mean? Like, do whatever. Like, no, sometimes there's no way to bypass this, but to go through it. And that's exactly what you're doing. You are going through it. And I think that's why this is so hard for your person, is because this is real. There ain't no games here. This is real. And you are, I'm hearing too that you're setting an example. You're setting an example in the work you're doing for you. And as much as your person is grieving it and trying to cling on to you, they're also paying attention. You're also giving whoever is watching you hope that they can access this. They can answer their own inner call also. What a beautiful reading. What a beautiful reading. Oh my gosh, what a beautiful reading. This is just, thank you. Thank you so much, Creator. Thank you, Collective, for your beautiful energy, Okay, it's like an hour and a half here. I had no idea I was going to go that long. Okay, let's pull a Native American card to close this off. Creator. Now that, okay, one came flying right out. It's face down. Now that the collective we've pulled the secrets out of the cards. The collective knows what's going on. Ooh, the 20. Oh my gosh, 20. 2, 2, 2, 2. Again, 20. Oh, what is, oh my gosh. Okay, we're going to go and get the book here. The book, 20. This is Tirawa and the Cosmic Buffalo. Oh my gosh. Tirawa and the Cosmic Buffalo. Okay, where are we? Here we are. Okay. Fulfillment. This is what this card means. Fulfillment. And this is your instructions. Tirawa is the god of the heavens, the creator of the world, and the guardian of the cosmic buffalo. Each of the buffalo's hooves is part of the cadence of the 4 eras, moving until it is completely consumed. When the last hoof is consumed, the world will enter a phase of destruction from which will rise again only with buffalo's rebirth. Oh, what did I just say? This is the life cycle, and a reminder that there is a proper time for everything. Periods of lack are followed by times of abundance. The message of this card: if things are not how you would like, remember that the natural cycles of life will bring about change. Everything is born, grows, and dies, thus attaining fulfillment. The key words of this card: fulfillment, completion, cycles, rebirth, the power of time, endings, and beginnings. The time this card speaks of is the ending or conclusion of a situation or season. Oh, it's the white buffalo. The white buffalo, that's a system is coming to a close in your life. That's what this is. This is like the sacrifice of the white buffalo. I am Ojibwe, and the Lakota people practice the ritual of the sacrifice of the white buffalo. And I remember the year my daughter was born, 94, there was one born in Montana, and there have been several born since then. So the white buffalo, the people have to be chosen for this. They have to prepare for many years so they're right in their heart and their soul when they do this ritual. And they basically throw spears into a white buffalo, and it is indicative of the ending of systems. How do you kill something graciously and gracefully when you're killing it? It's the same thing. How does something die gracefully? It's still dying. Like, it's still, like, death is death. And so the sacrifice of the white buffalo is the acknowledgement that systems will come to an end. And there is a time in that time of the white buffalo when he's lying on its side. He knows that he is being overtaken, and he enters into the death throes where he begins to kick. And that's very, very dangerous. And so the people involved in the ritual have to stand back so they don't get kicked and hurt until the buffalo fights itself out. And that's this, kind of like the fighting energy here, this inner turmoil going on here. And then when the buffalo fights itself out, then the people come and they sit with it. And they can cry with it and grieve with it and sit with it and acknowledge it as this system dies. And so systems must fail us. They must end. Our sovereignty depends upon it. And when a system, a family system, a marriage system, a friendship system, a religious system, something important in your life is coming to an end, because you are going to be finding your own power, your own clarity, your own contract, power in the creator, power in the cosmos, sovereign, sovereign. You do not have that when you are plugged into systems of power that are esteeming you. Those systems of power must end. And that forces you to find your own power. And this is exactly what you've already done. And then this is unfolding. This is still unfolding in your life. And the Creator is honoring it. The Creator is absolutely behind all of this, calling you forward deeper into your moments, deeper into your experience of you. This is beautiful. Very, very beautiful. Oh, okay. I'm going to leave this here, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning into this energy and bringing your beautiful, beautiful, radical acceptance of your life, of your lives, just powerful, and going through a rejuvenation time. You are going through a purification time in this winter solstice before the spring. And the spring doesn't necessarily have to be spring. Your spring can come at any time. That depends on you and the Creator. But that push is coming. But right now you are going through the purification and the grieving and just the whole process, and trust it. Trust yourself, trust the call, trust the Creator, but most of all, trust you. Alrighty, you guys, thank you so much for tuning into this beautiful reading. Thank you so much, and I look forward to our next live, and that'll probably be in January at some point. I will let you all know. Okay, thank you so much for trusting me with this reading. Creator, thank you for trusting me with this reading. And have a good night, everybody. I love you all. Thank you all for your support, for the donations, for the super thanks, for everything. And it's been just absolutely lovely. And I just feel just connected to a beautiful group of people that are just, you guys are incredible. And I'm so honored. I'm so honored. Thank you. All right, you guys. Good night.